This is PatZi with a Z. Welcome to Joy on Paper Live, a program for writers and those who dream of writing, and for everyone who wants to know the story behind the book. And I am so happy to have ELLE MARR with me because, well, I'm just happy. Sometimes I just like to say, I want to go out and play with Elle, because when I was a kid, my friend, next door neighbor, was named Ellie. We had a girl named Ellie who did not come out to play. So and I think in the first interview I had with you years ago, I called you Ellie a couple of times.
I remember, and that's all right. That happens.
That's all right. That's all right. And I think, I'm not sure, but that's the interview that was arranged after you stood me up because you had a baby on the day that we were supposed to have an interview.
I believe that was after. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm recalling it well.
And then now I think you've had another baby, right?
That's correct. That's correct. A solid 3 there.
So how old is it?
A little over a year old. So he is actually, this book, The Lies She Wears, is dedicated to him because he was with me during the drafting, during the ideation with my editor, during the editing. As a newborn, he's been with me the entire time. He's such a great babe.
Oh, of course. And I saw that introduction and I thought, oh, that's so sweet. Because then one day when he grows up, he said, oh, my mom, who some people call creepy,
Right.
I've always wanted to meet you at a convention and I could walk up to you and say, oh, you are so creepy. You are one of the
The
creepiest.
highest compliment, truly.
Exactly. If somebody wants to compliment you, all they have to do is say you're creepy. And we could
100%.
start with the first chapter here. Do not tell people about it. Do not. It shocked me. Don't tell people. I have an aversion to what's in that chapter. But, we're going to talk about other things, but we're not
Chapter
going to
2.
tell a lot because the problem with you is you have so much in there. And one of the things, twists and turns. Now, you know what I eat for breakfast every morning? Something that you're good at. Herring. Every morning, I eat herring for breakfast because it's heart healthy and good for you.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's an excellent answer. And it's true. I've peppered in a fair few of the colorful variety of red herrings into my writing, and in this book in particular. So that's
definitely in this book, which is so beautiful. Isn't it beautiful?
I love it. It is beautiful.
Love it. It's a little bit shy. You see how it sort of shines like that?
It's a little shiny. The cover designer did a great job.
I think it's great. It's a really fantastic cover. The colors and pops and it makes you say, oh, I want to open this book up. And then you read the first chapter and you say, oh my goodness, Elle is really creepy. But it's so
all these compliments, PatZi. I love it.
I know. You're blushing. I can see that. Now, I did want to ask you, you haven't been interviewed yet by there's an interviewer who likes books, and she is, well, practically topless. She really...
I have not been interviewed by her. I feel like I would remember this.
You haven't gotten to her yet?
No.
Let's say, I don't know how men that she interviews are thinking about their books, because I'm talking, she's really topless. So if we're getting to that point on YouTube interviews where to attract subscribers, likes, comments, and shares, and you have to be practically topless, and she keeps leaning forward, so that makes it even worse.
Or deliberate.
But the thing is, I'm thinking if they're doing that now, that the interviewer has to act like that, what are they going to do now with authors? Beautiful authors you. They're going to say, topless, you want publicity? Topless.
The market is saturated. We have to do what we have to do to sell books, PatZi.
That's right. That's right. And you will do it. But not on my program.
Not on your program. Not on any program, for the record. But yeah, that's an interesting take. I haven't heard of that platform, that style of interviewing. But with everything these days, I'll bet a lot of it's real and a lot of it's AI generated, which is another interview topic.
She generated the look somehow. I don't know if it's natural, but it's definitely a double whammy, let's just say.
Fascinating.
But so we are serious here. We are talking about a seriously scary book. Is how would you like to describe it?
I consider it a psychological thriller. And creepy, as I said, is an excellent compliment to my mind. It was designed to be suspenseful and to hopefully carry tension throughout the book and to encourage the reader to turn the page and to not put it down. So I hope that that comes across.
Oh, it does. And I just want to tell people, of course, Elle has been on the program before, and you were here for Strangers We Know. And of
That's
course, I
right.
love to do graphics for you because you always have something that I can grab onto. And this one had blood coming, and I like
That's a
that. I
beautiful
really like
graphic. I
that.
love it.
I thought
I
that
love
was
the colors.
yeah, I use that one. I use that a lot on Facebook and some other platforms because people liked it. They looked at it one time and then they said, "Oh, it's blood! It's blood!" So yes,
It's
it's got to
eye-catching.
be. And then the other book, which I thought was really, I really enjoyed this one because you got a starred review, and that was Family Bones. I thought
That's right.
that was pretty great. And so now we have the new book, and I'll have you tell people about it without giving away too much because we never want to give away too much. And I think you're now getting to be a pro at this because this is your seventh book and seven, I
Yeah,
think.
a pro is an unusual term I don't usually associate with myself, but I am getting very good at remembering what I wrote about in this book.
Okay. So there it is, The Lie She Wears. A great title, too. Did you come out with that?
I did. I have come up with all of my titles except for my debut, The Missing Sister. That was a collaboration with my editor.
And beautiful, really beautiful design. It just captures. It also has enough of that sort of scary atmosphere. And explain about the timeline, the dual timeline. You have the dual
Yes.
timeline and dual protagonists, which I love dual timeline books.
Oh, thank you. And I do too. I think they're so much fun to read and, of course, to write. I will share The Lie She Wears begins with museum curator Pearl, who receives a letter from her recently deceased mother confessing to murder. Pearl thinks she's uncovered her mother's darkest secrets in this moment, but when more letters surface and new victims appear, Pearl realizes she's caught in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Someone is following in her mother's footsteps, and they're getting closer. The Lie She Wears takes place in Portland and the Willamette Valley, and it examines what happens when decades old secrets refuse to stay buried. It's got one of my favorite twists that I've ever written. And it does feature dual timelines, dual protagonists in very unique and different ways. And it was really just such a pleasure to write. I discovered so much, and I just found myself really enjoying each of the perspectives. And I hope that readers do too.
Oh, I think so. It works very well. It's sort of today and then going back to 1992. And
That's right.
really, it is so effective. I love it. And you,
Thank
of
you.
course, you do it so seamlessly. So we just go from one chapter to another. And of course, you have some protagonists here that are also fascinating.
They are unique. They are characters for a reason, and they each have their own motivations and their goals. And the title plays into the story rather nicely, if I say so myself, and that the story is really all about the lies that we wear in our relationships, the things that we tell ourselves and rationalize for ourselves in our relationships, much to sometimes our detriment, much to sometimes our advantage. And it's up to the reader to determine which is which. I also have an unreliable narrator in this story because I think they are just sublimely fun. And that's another interesting aspect of what does this character believe is the truth and what is just their perception of it. You never really know with those unreliable people.
Exactly. And you always come out with twists and turns. And in this book, particularly, I had some really, I enjoyed the herrings and I enjoyed, you served up a great dish. Let's put it that way.
Thank you. I love to hear that.
Now, when you were working on, did you find it difficult to go back and forth? Did you like write one period just right through and then insert, or how did you do that?
I always write by the page. So I don't write one perspective or one timeline and then go back and feather them into the main storyline. I write it as I'm turning the page. And for me, that's most effective because that allows me to really sit in the reader's experience and to just keep all of the balls in the air, if you will, in my head at the same time. If I separate them too much and make them too distinct in like the way that I'm working through the story, then I lose the overall cohesion, the overall themes that I'm going for, or the overall tension. So it never quite works well for me, but I know plenty of authors are more successful at that.
Now, when you were, of course, I love the idea of a curator. Just anything to do with either a library or a museum, you always want to know something about what's going on in the back, what's going on behind those doors that say "Do not enter." So, had you ever worked in a museum? How did you get that sort of feel for it?
I never worked in a museum. I would have loved to. I really considered studying art history, but I've been to so many museums. Anytime I travel, I always go to the local museum, natural history or art. And I used to travel quite a bit because I was living in Europe. And every time I walk into a different museum, I am struck with the sense of stories, of how many stories just surround us and are washing over us as we're walking through the halls. And the countless stories that I will never be exposed to or know because there's so much to absorb and examine on any given 3 hour museum visit. And that really felt like a great vocation for Pearl, my main character, because as she's working through her past, her childhood with a strained relationship with her mother, and being forced to consider her mother's past and how it's now showing up in these supposed confessions of murder, she's surrounded by all of these stories as a museum art curator, and yet she doesn't really know her own story or her mother's story. That creates this kind of hunger in her to come to understand herself better and to come to understand her mother, who for the first time she might be able to understand after her mother has already passed away. So it was a fun exercise for me to immerse myself in the art and history and art museum world simply because it was a great juxtaposition of Pearl's interests.
Of course, you studied in Paris. You got your master's degree at the Sorbonne. So you
I
spent
did.
a lot of time in great museums, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh, I love everything in Paris. The museums there, dozens of museums, and they're all fantastic. I didn't visit all of them. There are too many. And I was there for 3 years.
But of course, you went to the Louvre. And isn't it funny that it was robbed? I still cannot get over it. So many times I'm walking through that museum because we used to spend like every other weekend. And when I lived in England, we'd go down to Paris for the weekend. And I walked through that museum so many times. And I thought of robbing things. There were things I wanted. And certainly to Judy's crown, yeah, I wouldn't have mind taking that. It was so easy. How did they do that?
That is the question. I'm still looking forward to details as they come out. I thought the same thing when I used to walk in the Louvre as well of wow, there's so many gorgeous artifacts here,
Well,
some of which are deceptively accessible, some of which you
yeah,
feel like you could
yeah,
walk
you
away
could
with.
grab it, take it just to have it. For me, anything, yeah, I would have taken anything if I could get away with it, I think. Oh,
It's a good
it's
thing we
funny.
didn't. Someone else did that a few weeks ago.
I don't know. I don't know. But it's fun that you got to do that in the book. You got to write about a museum, and that's always fun.
Yes, I was very fortunate to have the Portland Art Museum was very cooperative. I got to speak with a member of their art curation team, and they shared a lot of information about their processes and particularly about the Portland Art Museum. It did get a little weird when I asked them, but how do you keep track of your artifacts? Do you have like barcodes on the bottom or like some kind of invisible stamp to keep track of everything? What would happen if someone accidentally or deliberately stole something? And they got a lot less forthcoming after that series of questions. But they were extremely generous with their time. And then they also shared with me some documents published by the Smithsonian on the Smithsonian's art curation practices, which was also really eye opening.
Well, it's certainly you write about it so well, and it makes it we really feel like we're in there behind the closed doors, and that was great.
Thank you. That's so wonderful to hear.
Now, of course, you are everything you write is a thriller, right? They're all thrillers. It's just
They're all thrillers, yes.
yes, it's what you are. You have it within you, because you come out with some. In which one is it? I think the Bones one. You have some
The
weird
family bone.
ideas, and we look at you, and you look so sweet and innocent, and then we read your books, and you got really creepy things in there.
You know what? In every book I write, there's a character that is deceptively normal.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Because they exist, we exist. And also, I pull a lot of my premises from the headlines. Truth is often much stranger than fiction, I will say.
That's true. When it's so much fun to be an author, really. You get all these possibilities and opportunities to, when you're doing research, to go out and meet people and talk to people and all this discovery. That's one of the greatest things about being an author.
Absolutely, I totally agree. There's so much to explore and to examine, and being able to do that on the page is such a gift. I'm grateful for the readers that have followed me across the last 6 books, who hopefully will follow me to the seventh book, The Lies She Wears. It's a dream come true to be able to write stories for me.
And when do you like struggle with the opening? In all of your books, the openings are just a little bit different, but in this one, it really, let's just say, it jumps out at you. It jumps out at
Good.
you.
That's great.
So did you write that first, and then, or did you add that later? How did
I
that come
added
to
that
you?
later. I added that around the third draft as I was writing this. Originally the second chapter was my first chapter. My second chapter begins with Pearl's perspective. The first chapter is a kind of a surprise perspective, so I won't give that away. But I realized that I needed to center the reader and to provide them with a solid foundation before they dove into this history and into Pearl's world. And I'm really happy with how the first chapter turned out. I love stories that begin this way, so I was excited to tackle it in my own way.
Yeah, I do too, because it's a short chapter, but boy, it is to the point. Literally to the
Yes.
point. Oh
Yes,
boy,
that's
oh boy,
I love to hear.
it's just so good, and it sets
Oh,
the
thank you.
tone for the rest of the book. You, we know we're going
Thank
to
you.
have
That was
these
wonderful.
surprises along the way.
Yes.
And now you mentioned three drafts. It's funny. I've been talking to a lot of, now that I'm finally organized in Austin. I've moved here like a year ago, and it's taken me a year to get organized. But so I'm starting to talk to more people about authors who are looking for suggestions on books and stuff like that. So I'm trying to start doing events again, because I hadn't, between the pandemic and then the big move, I didn't do much. But I do get these questions. I think you actually, maybe you started writing in NaNoWriMo.
I did.
Yeah,
Good
because
memory.
we don't have it now. They're gone. But they did serve a purpose, because I've had some of my listeners who did it, and actually it did motivate them. So there was a lot of good parts to it. But they would finish their book, and I remember one man particularly. He finished his book. He was so happy. He finished it, and it was for November, so he finished 50,000 words in November, and then he took December to edit it. And in January, he comes to me and he says, "I'm ready. Tell me, what publisher should I send it to?" I
Great.
said, "Oh, goody. I don't think it's going to work that way."
I
And
love the optimism though, and I love the enthusiasm. You have to have that as a writer.
yeah. So when your first one, which when you did NaNoWriMo, did that ever turn into a full length book, or you went on to something else?
Oh, yes, I belabored that manuscript for far too long. Probably about 5 years before I finally just called it quits. And every now and then I'll still trot out the idea to my literary agent and she'll say, still,
Not it. Not
still
it.
probably not a great idea. So if one day I change genres, then it might come out, but I sympathize with that man and with all
Oh, he's
novice
still
writers.
working on it. This is now. So this was the year before the pandemic,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's still working on. He finally realized he's got a lot of drafts to do. So
That's a hard conversation to have with yourself as a writer. You can't be precious about it, and it's really hard to let go of that, to let go of an idea that your manuscript
yeah,
is done. And it's not.
your editors must have fun reading your books.
I think so. We've been together for now 6 books, 5 books, and she's excellent. I'm very fortunate to have found her so early on in my career, and she likes them. She says she's good with it.
How could she not? Absolutely. I think it's
Right,
a treat because
right.
sometimes when you're an editor, sometimes you get books that you really have to plow through. They might be worthy books to publish, but still you feel like you're plowing through them. But with you, it's nothing like that. This is a real joy to just keep turning the pages and
Oh, that's very kind.
see what's going to
I
pop out
definitely
at you.
try for that.
I think that for more and more people now, of course, a lot of people are terrified of AI and what it's doing to the world in general. But with writers, when you're doing something original like you do, you come out with I don't know, I suppose AI can be creepy in its own way, but you need that kind of mind to come out with all the twists and turns that you do in your books. I don't see AI replacing authors like you. I really don't.
Yeah, AI is gotten very good, but it's still not replacing the human experience and certainly human creativity. And that's comforting to me. I have some real hangups and complaints about AI, but I really am not. I think as long as people continue to value human stories and continue to hold that line, AI is certainly extremely useful in certain areas, but it has no place in the arts or in creative fields. And I am comforted with that, with your sentiment that the human experience is so complicated and so complex and layered that I can't see AI ever being capable of creating a story that mirrors a human story, personally. I know it'll get really good, but
Yeah,
to what
I
end?
know they've tried, and as a matter of fact, twice somebody's tried to trick me with AI. I
Mhm.
received a beautiful book that it looked like it was published by a major publisher. Beautiful, the production values, everything, absolutely perfect. Very expensive production, great paper, all of that. And I read 8 pages, and I said, "There's something wrong." And by the 15th page, I realized this is AI. It's AI, and I discovered it. It in fact was AI, AI, and it was done by actually, and he might be listening because he wanted to be on the program, and I caught it. He wanted to be on the program with because he's famous. He's famous, and he wanted to have a book for
Hmm.
young adults, and I knew what it was, and so yeah, you can't. Our minds are full of stuff. Just thinking about it, your life experiences between you grew up where Southern California. Where did you grow
I
up?
know, I think California, but I went to school in Southern California, all over California.
And then going to Paris, going to Europe, all of the things that you saw, all the things you did, it's all wrapped up in that head of yours. And
Absolutely.
all the people too, all the different types of people, because in the sister's book, you really bring Paris alive. And so it's the human experience. It's just superior to AI. I don't care what they say. They might know where the Champs Elysees is, but they don't know the feeling of walking. Oh, the feeling.
Absolutely. The smell of fresh bread, the smell of crepes, the outrage when a crepe is cost €7 instead of the €2 that it should actually be costing, like all of those little details.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They do that. They say American, American. Yes.
Exactly. Good for you for catching that AI assisted or AI generated book. I think a lot of, I sympathize with writers wanting a quick entry point into publishing or wanting that experience, I guess, to publish a book, but that's not the way. You're just going to damage yourself, your reputation, your own experience that you're actually seeking out in the process, and it won't be what you actually want from it, nor will it be good content. And the outrage when book lovers actually determine that it is AI generated or AI assisted, I just don't think that's worth it if what you actually like is books. If you actually like books, and usually writers do, that's not what you want.
Yeah,
It's just
you
a
don't want to
terrible
be
shortcut
sitting
that
in
will
a bookstore
die.
autographing a book, and somebody comes up and said, "I just proved that this is AI," and somebody makes a fool out of you. But
Yeah, that would
now,
be shocking.
do you have any interesting fan experiences that you can share with us? Because some authors have some interesting. I've had authors who their fans have given them special things, or they've done special things for them. What about you?
I have been pleasant, calm, passionate about books, about my writing, which is always an amazing feeling as an author. But I've just interacted with really great people. I have no nothing unusual or bizarre to share. I have not been out on a lot of the book conference circuits because I was published in 2020, and so book conferences, in-person book conferences, have really picked up the last couple of years. But so has my delivery of children.
Yeah,
So
I was going to
I haven't
say,
gotten
yeah,
out too
when you
much.
got babies around, it's difficult to do that, and
Yeah,
it's more fun to be at home kissing their toes. That is
right.
my
Right.
so
Absolutely. So maybe in a few years, check back in a few years with me, and I might have something more interesting to share. But I've just been very blessed and very fortunate to meet people who are kind book lovers. And that's what authors are at the end of the day. We just love books. And I just love talking books with people.
you do it. You're a great writer, and I really so thrilled that you're on Joy on Paper Live. I'm trying to do this program because exactly that. I want readers to see the authors, to get to know the authors, and to understand that it is a human connection between the author and the reader. You touch people's hearts, or you tingle their spines, or you terrify them. Whatever you do,
I've been there.
you do what you do, and you do it well.
Thank you, PatZi. That is so kind. That's what I strive for. I'm always just looking to connect with readers and or to create an experience for them. Stephen King said it best, reading is a unique form of telepathy. And I completely agree with that sentiment. And that's what I hope that I've accomplished with The Lies She Wears. It's got literally my favorite twist in any of the books that I have written. And I'm really excited to see what readers think of it.
I think you're going to be very proud when you hear all the wonderful comments, and you already have, I know, some great blurbs because people have really commented on it. And again, Elle, thank you so much for joining me today on Joy on Paper Live. It's a joy to talk to you and to see you. We have your website. I want to make sure I have it right. And I think I have it right. ELLE MARR.
Beautiful.
That's it.
ELLEMARR.com.
Okay. Okay. Good. And the name of the book is The Lies She Wears, and it's by ELLE MARR. It's available wherever books are sold and online. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and you can get it. And this is a great book to read. Again, Elle, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a joy to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure to speak with you. If anyone would like a signed copy of The Lies She Wears, they're available via Annie Bloom's Books in Portland. And I'm just so thrilled to speak with you again, PatZi. Thank you.
Okay, thanks again. Bye-bye now. Bye.
Help us help authors. A message from Joy on Paper Live's host, PatZi. Just click that button.
Thanks.